see who joins me. I am at my daughter's house, and I'm not using any fancy anything. I'm just trying to get this to stay plugged in and be able to do this and actually just have a little chat with you, whoever shows up. But anyway, we know who I am. Sandy. And Environmental Coffee House. And I'm supposed to be on hiatus, so I'm not going near Facebook. Just wanted to talk because life throws some curveballs. Now, I don't know if I can see the live chat, if anybody has anything on. Oh, nope, I see it. Kim. Hi, Kim. Okay, I see it now. Justin. Hey, guys. You found me. Well, anyway, there is something I'm going to talk about on the page, but I'm just glad to see that the deep state hasn't drowned me. No. You know, I'll do a little explaining. That was actually, I've been super, super depressed over some crazy life experiences that happen, and I'm not a victim. And I'm not the only one that bad shit happens to. But, you know, in trying to cheer me up and based on conversations we had, Hambone made that video, but I laughed. I laughed all the way through it because I know I was on the inside, and we never meant that anybody else would not understand it. But for what it's worth, it certainly did divert my attention from being miserable. And during that time, my husband decides to go outside and go with his friend and go chop, or his brother go chop wood with the wood splitter. And I didn't want him to do it. And I had this like really weird premonition, and I didn't. And I told him, don't go. I don't want you to go, right? He went, and I get the phone call later on. Son of a bitch, if it isn't him saying, my brother's taking me to the hospital. And I was not an empathetic person. I flipped out, and I was really pissed because I've had a lot of things going down, you know, like a lot of us. And a lot of things, though, that could impact my life completely, profoundly. And through nothing of my own, you know, I make some videos. I can't even go on, like, big marches, or I can't do any of that anymore, but I have a voice, and I can read a few articles, and we can discuss things, and it's nice, and it gives me something to do and look forward to and feel like I'm communicating. And you know what? I think I woke up a whole lot of people that were my peers on Facebook, because when Bernie was running, and we weren't talking like we are talking now, and the environmental degradation wasn't happening in the rapid speed it has happened, and I wasn't awake, but I'm awake. I'm awake, and I have a platform, as little and teeny as it is. So anyway, going back to that story, so Hambone does that, and at the same time, I was setting this up to have a show for Antonio Reed. Oh, it's not wine, it's just a sexy glass. So Antonio, I met, he came to our house, and he had done an interview, a couple interviews. I was very impressed with him. So, like I did for Nakia, you know, Mindy did some graphics. I mean, it takes nothing. Mindy does some graphics because she's brilliant, and Nakia has a little show and on Solar Matters, and so does now Antonio, because I'm sort of on hiatus. This is just an anomaly. I'm at my daughter's house, and I'm babysitting her Rottweiler, wherever he is. Her Rottweiler, who's 10, so he's like easy, and 2 cats. It's sort of like the geriatric cat household. She's had 1 cat since when she was little, and this cat's got to be 18, 19 years old. I found this cat back then and brought it home, which is my MO, and she got the cat in custody of the divorce from her father. So I'm here with her and her 10-year-old Rottweiler, who's been having some health problems. She's in Europe, which you know, you can't tell them they can't do something. She went to Germany, and they're going to Czechoslovakia, and they're going to Poland, and they're going to Auschwitz, and they're going to try to do some tripping around there. It was cute to see them off on, you know, I come here to see them off on the plane. her boyfriend is, completely all tattooed, musician type, and she's all tattooed, and they're both wearing black, and they're just really cute, they really are. They got into Toronto, they got into Canada with no problem. Not a problem. And they look pretty wild, but they had no problem. So anyway, to get back to all of this, I don't want this to go away, Environmental Coffee House. I mean, I think that bringing people's voices in to wake up and educate others is a great thing. And our page on Facebook has, almost 8,000 followers. And it's nothing to do because I don't do it all. And I guess social media can be an addiction. And if it is, I'm an addicted social media person because it's broadened my horizons so much, and I have you, and that's pretty cool. And I don't want that taken away from me. So there are things that are happening that I'm working on, and I'm hoping that you stay with us and enjoy the interviews that Antonio brings with different scientists, and enjoy what I can, do every now and then, and keep us relevant, keep us relevant. So I'm going to segue from that, all this personal crap, husband's mincemeat hand, had surgery, they couldn't fix it. Now he has to have skin graft. I mean, nothing's easy. And I'm still healing. I'm a mess. I can sit here and look good for 20 minutes, but for fuck's sake, excuse my language, I'm really kind of a mess. A little help from that. So anyway, the other day we put up an article on the page called it was from the News Observer, and it's NASA can see dark polluted Carolina River spilling into the ocean from space. And the picture is, it's graphic, I mean, it's disturbing, but I want to find it to show you, but it's going to be so rudimentary here because I'm sitting here on my iPad. Can you see it, sort of? See? It's pretty gross. And this is all the shit that's flowing from places in North Carolina that are still getting messed up from all this. So I don't want to read the article, but we had 579 shares of this article that Matt Nelson, climatologist Matt Nelson, sent me. And 579 shares of that article. But the comments were really good. And I'll put the article, if I can do that, I'll put the article up for you. And I'll just read the beginning. A NASA satellite is tracking flooding in the Carolinas following Hurricane Florence, and its images show dark, polluted water flowing from rivers into the Atlantic Ocean. Nearly 8 trillion gallons of rain fell across North Carolina during the storm, according to the National Weather Service, Raleigh's estimate. The rain led to catastrophic flooding across the state and has polluted rivers, streams, creeks, and their outflows along the coast. So the comments were really good. That was the best part of it. And I want to find a couple of them because commenters are awesome. Somebody just said about, thank you. Antonio's fantastic. He's he's stellar. I forgot to tell you guys one more thing on YouTube that you would appreciate. I think it looks kind of dark here, but there was another fellow that follows me and follows the genre named Alistair. He's 32 years old, and he came to our party, and out of the blue, he had heard what was going on, and he knew I was like really miserable and what happened with Doug. He drove 4.5 hours and stayed the weekend with us and loaded firewood onto the front deck and helped us with all these chores that we can't do. Do you know what? That is the frickin' best thing ever. And in return, he wants to learn some things that my husband and brother can teach him about sustainable outdoor stuff, living outdoors. And he wants to learn those things. So I just wanted to pop that in because, Alistair, if you see this, Peace. You're welcome back anytime. He's great. I adopted him. He's my son now. It's just wonderful. Out of the blue, just came and offered to help us because he knew we were, we've got some pretty fucked up shit going on. So it wasn't that nice. That was the best. It told me that I really can have a faith in people and humanity still, as depressed as you can get, or I'm not a victim. There's no way I'm a victim of anything. Life is not easy for anyone, especially these times. Even the 1%ers, I don't think, have the easiest lives. But I want to read a couple of comments. And Diana said, soil, sediments, decaying, I look kind of scary, this light. Decaying leaves, pollution, and other debris have discolored the water in the swollen rivers, bays, estuaries, and the nearshore ocean. But what part is pollution? Certainly other stuff won't pose much of a problem. And then Matt came back and said the toxins derived from sewage facilities, meth labs, industrial coops, fertilizer, and fungicidal and herbicidal runoff, and numerous other sources will have an impact far and wide from the North Carolina coastline, but rather it will impact a much larger range. This is the shit we live with. Basil said, my grandfather raised pigs, and I played in the pig pens, and they were smarter than dogs and very friendly. Oh, my God. I can't tell you how much I've cried over all this stuff, but that's a crying, that's a normal, natural crying because it's the way of what we're living in. It's not crying because I'm whining about my life is fucking falling apart. That's different. When I cry for the earth, I'm crying for all of us, and that's a grief, that's something that I'm celebrating that I have because of the kind of person I am. Teresa said, we thought red tide was bad. What future horrors could result from this? Now, we had this in 2016 down there, so they're still getting better from that. And Matt says, Teresa Marie, we could get Zmack-Zepp typhus, spelled S-M-A-C-H-Z-E-P-P typhus, swine flu, trichinosis, etc. I mean, this was just what a conversation, because it's true, and they're not going to talk to you about this on the news, right? Not on TV. The lingering, well, my daughter doesn't have it. She has no television for her. The lingering water will become havens for insect vectors of West Nile as well. And then Teresa comes back and says, Matt, other toxic nightmare mutations and cancers, as well as mass die-offs and plants and fish and wildlife. And he says, the number of bee deaths is assumed to be in the tens of millions. It's just, and then she comes back and says, Matt, the impacts are just unimaginable and underreported. This is the best defense for climate change action. And where will it go? It'll be buried under the news cycle of the times, as always. Yeah, the Brett Kavanaugh Supreme Court clusterfuck that's going to take all of our rights away because in 1980, Charles Koch ran for president as a libertarian. And you can go on his Bernie Sanders' website, and read the platform. It's what is happening now, 28 years later, in the United States. And then somebody else wrote, Suzanne wrote, they don't believe in climate pollution, talking about the politicians and the news. And then neither does Iowa with 22 million hogs. What about all the rain we've had? It seems like it's never just a light rain anymore, but a downpour. Matt comes back with perhaps the biggest impact this is going to lay out will be formation of massive dead zone, one that's several hundred miles in diameter, and seeing it impact the dynamic of the thermohaline. That's pretty scary. The entire area's water treatment facilities are compromised, as well as city hospital, biomedical refuse, etc. And then Michelle comes in and says, ecocide. To which Gina says, they just need to be environmentally friendly and just raise vegetables, which was a really cute comment out of the middle of nowhere. And Eric come in and said, washing these super fun cleanup sites away. Washing them. Nice. Oh, but then we had a troll on this one. Called himself Richard Cranium. Richard, you are banned. So you can't even see this. So fuck you, Richard. He writes, you people are really uneducated. This is not pollution in the sense you are thinking, or this is suggesting. Richard, what is it? Are you going to take a bath in it? Are you going to walk in it? And are you going to drink it? Asshole. So Jason comes and says, there's no pollution there, that's sediment. Check out satellite images of India or Indonesia. It's like a smorgasbord of plastic rubbish at all river mouths. Laughing out loud, he says. And Mike says, many people knew this was going to happen and have done nothing. Well, then Art comes in and says, gross humans. And Terry, horrible human beings. Well, it is what it is. Not everybody's a horrible human being. I have these most amazing human beings around me now. I'm just beautiful people. And I suppose if I, pretty much have to change everything and be broke and never go anywhere, I don't anyway. It is what it is. Mai says, that's why we need EPA. Safety and sanitation can prevent lots of outbreaks of diseases. Well, sure, if it was a fully functioning, working organization. Let me tell you, I listened to Tom Hartman today, and he outlined that libertarian agenda that Charles Koch ran on, and this is what they want. It is scary as shit. Maybe I'll try to post it in the comments. I'll put on my regular computer because it's really scary. It's coming true, and they got their schnook President Trump. They got that asshole. They got their idiot. They got it. 28 years it took them. One Supreme Court justice, and we're away from what, I don't know, in the United States. Sometimes it's like scary that I feel like I'll be eating cat food. Or, my own kid has told me I'm not moving in here with her. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming. Anybody got any comments? I'm stand up a little bit because my back is killing me. So thank you for coming. We'll get back onto a regular schedule of stuff. It's just going to take me time. When I was here, I was planning, I wanted to do a whole bunch of, I wanted to do interviews because my daughter has really good internet. I can't sit, I can't stand, I'm so uncomfortable. My daughter has really good internet, but I can't do interviews right now. I just can't do those things, but I'm working on something. So everybody, good night, and peace, and thank you for coming. And I don't think I'm going to do this on the iPad again. It's really awkward and weird, but bye, guys. Thanks for coming. See ya.